Josue here from Dr. Pilat's 4th Hour English. We'll be looking at a few stories, all in which include some type of realization towards the end. Something to think about before we delve in. What can be shared between the author's realizations at the end of each story? To begin with, we can find our first realization in analyzing John Updike's A&P, where we see his views of 3 fairly attractive women walking into the convenience store contrasted by his manager's view, yet backed up in a sense by the assistant manager. As seen in the story, he has a very positive outlook on the girls, and is seemingly mesmerized as opposed to the manager, who stops to scold them. At this point, Sammy, the main character, realizes the unfairness of the store and quits. But how does this tie into the revelation? Firstly, he sees the manner in which the previous generation is raising him to conform to their societal values and norms through the cycle of work and possible education. He exemplifies his co-worker's future in he thinks he's going to become manager some sunny day. And then he goes on to say about his bow tie, that the bow tie is there if you've ever wondered. He then sees that he is following the steps of his co-worker along with being labeled by his bow tie to conform with society. We then see a realization through the heartbreak of a poor young boy in Araby. We can see his closed view of the town he lives in and of his deep feelings of the girl he obsesses over. However, he keeps all these feelings to himself, without a vent to express his ideas and feelings. He does not tell his uncle or aunt, and when his adoration speaks to him, he was so confused that he did not know what to answer. Towards the end, he has a realization of his own, just as everything up to this point has. His hopes in love will also fail, just as expectations did. Our next story is told by Mama, a seemingly single mother with 2 children, Maggie and Dee, both of which have different views of their culture and hereditary background. Dee sees her own people as an oppressed culture with collectible artifacts that she seeks to preserve. Maggie sees the value in what she's inherited and makes everyday use of them with sincere appreciation. Concluding Dee's, rather Wangero, visit, Mama comes to a harsh realization in the statement, "I looked at her like that something hit me in the top of my head and ran down the soles of my feet," and then she goes on to say that she snatched the quilt out of Miss Wangero's hands and dumped them into Maggie's lap. Notice here how she no longer refers to Dee as Dee, but Wangero, losing her respect and realizing it is Maggie who is truly deserving. Finally, we can take a look at Borges and I, told by an author's consciousness in writing of who he is on the outside and the persona he has created. He tells of his personal interests as well as his outer form. Unfortunately, he is unhappy at the fact that he is slowly becoming his persona, and he is just feeding it. Although he has made his attempts to recreate who he is, his other self took over that as well. He remains stuck contemplating who he truly is, as he does not know which one of us has written this page. He realizes he does not meet his own expectation in who he wants to be, leaving him to question himself. Now, back to the question. What can be shared between the author's realizations at the end of each story? Each author's realization adds to the idea of failed expectations, whether it is societal, as seen in A&P, self-expectation, demonstrated in Araby, family-related along with cultural values as shown in everyday use, and self-identity in Borges and I.